is a series of international high-stakes poker tournaments that can turn amateur players into millionaires and make professionals into superstars. With a $5.7 million prize pool on the line, it's time for these 6 players to live the dream.
At Foxwoods, big money means big action. Tonight on the World Poker Tour.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the World Poker Tour. I'm Mike Sexton alongside Vince Van Patten, coming to you from the woods of Connecticut at Foxwoods for the World Poker Final.
Yes, sirree, Mike. All roads lead to Foxwoods, the mecca of poker in New England. It is only fitting that the biggest tournament east of the Mississippi practically always has the big names winning it. Hoyt Corkins, Twan Lee, and the youngest player ever to win on the World Poker Tour, 21-year-old Nick Schulman.
Well, Vince, I don't know if the big names win Foxwoods or winning Foxwoods gets you a big name, but I do know that 609 players entered this tournament, putting up $10,000 each, creating a whopping prize pool with $1.7 million going to first place.
Okay, well, Mike, this week, it's a Cinderella story. An amateur player, E.G. Harvin, he is a massive chip leader. He could take this title.
Well, Vince, that's a nice story, but it's not the big story tonight.
Oh.
For the first time ever on the World Poker Tour, 2 women have made it to a WPT final table. Mimi Tran and 3-time WPT finalist Kathy Liebert are both here. Could we see our first ever woman champion on the World Poker Tour? Mimi and Kathy are starting in 2nd and 3rd chip position. I give them a great shot to do it tonight.
Well, we're going to have perfume at the final table. Always nice. We are down to our final 6. Let's go watch them play. Action's going to be on E.G. Harvin.
Well, he's chip leader at this final table, an amateur player.
The insurance man looks down at a pair of deuces.
Well, what do you do with 2 deuces when you're under the gun, meaning you're first to act? He's going to make the call.
Mimi quickly folding. And now it's on Mike Perry, and I can't believe this. The double rulers, the 2 spoiled fat guys, wired up on the very first hand.
Fancy starting out in 5th chip position.
I'm going to raise.
He's picking up a pair of kings on hand number 1. The 40-year-old electrical contractor has got to be loving it right now.
120.
He's going to make it 120,000 more.
Not out. Michael Omelchek, they call him Chuckles, looks down at Queen 7. He folds. Chatty Kathy Liebert. Kathy's got 9 to 5.
Got this one, cameras? Okay.
There she goes with the chat. She goes away.
How much does he have altogether?
E.G. asking how much he has, a little astonishing, and that this is the first pot. You think you know the exact chip count of every opponent at the table. He's going all in here, Vince.
He's going to push it hard.
Wow.
If you're not that strong, you can't call it.
Well, if you're sitting in Mike Perry's seat, you're afraid your opponent's limped in with 2 aces.
I call.
But he is going to make the call with the 2 kings, and he is going to love it. E.G. there, I'm sure, was, look, I'm the big chip leader. Nobody wants to go out on hand 1. If he doesn't have a total monster hand, he's not going to call my all-in re-raise here.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Mike Perry from Oakland, Maine. His wife, Amanda, his dad, Michael Sr. in the audience.
Well, he takes a deep breath here, Vince, and why not? He knows he's got a great shot to double up right here and sneak up on that $1.7 million first prize. Yeah, won the first satellite he played, Vince, to get this seat. Here he is at the final table, a great shot to double up on hand number 1.
And here we go with our flop.
And a king comes out.
He flopped to set it.
But notice they're all hearts on the flop. You saw the elation when he saw the 3 kings, but he now recognizes his opponent has a flush draw.
Reversal of fortune within
man.
a split second.
It's actually a bad flop.
A 4 of hearts would be a killer.
Well, he's shaking his head right now. Says, how can this happen? I flopped 3 kings, and I can still lose this pot if a heart comes up there.
So Mike Perry's got to sweat the turn card. 4th streak coming up. Here it is. He's going to get by that 1. 8 of diamonds.
You're a black card, dealer. You're a black card.
Now for E.G. Harvin to win this pot, he's got to catch a heart. That's not the 8 of hearts. Otherwise, Mike would have a full house.
Black card.
Mike in great shape here to double up right now, but no! The 10 of hearts comes off on the river. A horrendous beat on hand number 1. Vince, the electrical contractor, has been short-circuited on the river.
Just horrendous. He has been flame-boiled out of this event in 6th place.
Well, Vince, what a gentleman the guy is. He's shaking everyone's hand, and that is total devastation. He said this was a dream come true for him to make it to this final table. It's turned into a nightmare, Vince. Why me and why now?
What a sport as he walks away into the abyss of Foxwoods.
That's it.
I thought he may have had an ace-king.
Yeah.
But Mike, Let's talk about E.G. Harbin. I mean, you've got the pair of deuces. He's saying, I'm going to go over the top all in. I'm going to test you. If you don't have aces, kings, or maybe ace-king, you're going to go away. That's the logic in E.G.'s mind. But nevertheless, you can get lucky in this game. 4 silly hearts come out there, and you take away a player.
Let's take one more look at Mike Perry's face on the flop. This pretty well sums it up for poker. All the emotions run the gamut in one blink.
Now, that's about as bad as it's been on the first hand ever on World Poker Tour. I remember about a year and a half ago, and we saw a player get his aces cracked on the very first hand. But this could even be worse. This is pretty brutal. That's why we play, Mike, for things like that.
Well, the game continues. E.G. Harbin off to a great start, busting a player and increasing his chip lead.
Let's go back to the table. It's all Mimi Tran. She quickly folds her hand.
Around the top cash game pro out of Canada, and then Ad Medic, he folds.
Now Michael Omelchuk with the button. He's got Jack-10 of clubs. Pretty good starting hand.
And he's going to limp in on the button with it. Calls 30,000 more.
And in the small blind is Kathy Liebert. She's got a king-jack.
She's got Kojak. She glances over at Chuckles there. See, he's trying to limp in and get a cheap flop.
And will she get aggressive?
Yes, she does, man. She's going to raise it 115,000.
Well, ain't that a surprise?
Is it?
Not to me.
Into E.G., who will not play his 8 deuce. Omelchuk, Chuckles can't do it, so Kathy getting very excited, taking down her first pot.
Kathy Liebert leading the cheers here after taking that pot down.
What a tournament player she is. Very popular on the circuit.
Well, Kathy's from the East Coast. She likes playing here a whole lot. It's like a coming home party for her here, Vince. She knows the historical significance of being the first woman to win on the World Poker Tour. She's got a shot to do it tonight, as does Mimi Tran.
Well, the bike I would have been out by now. I went out the second hand at the Legends, so I made it past the 2 hands. That's pretty good. That's a good big accomplishment.
Well, Kathy, at least the bike you lasted a hand longer than poor Mike Perry. Action's going to be on Nanad Medic,
who's a phenomenal poker player out of Niagara Falls, Canada.
I'll get 2 aces.
Former basketball player. He folds a 10-8 offsuit. Michael Omelchuk going out.
Round to Kathy Liebert now on the button. Looks down at a dismal Jack-3 offsuit, but she is going to raise it. Makes it 100,000 to go.
E.G. quickly folding, and now Mimi is out. Kathy on a little bit of a roll here.
Well, she ought to clap for herself winning with that hand, Vince. That is just taking it to him right there. Did you know she has a black belt in karate? It looks to me like she's ready to chop down this table tonight and take home this title.
She's a great player. The most money won for any woman on the World Poker Tour.
And Vince, she told me she feels like it's her destiny to win tonight. She's been here enough times. She feels like it's her time. She avidly wants to become that first woman to capture a WPT title.
Well, it is inevitable. A lady will win on the World Poker Tour. I mean, there's some great women out there playing poker. Will it be the night? The action right now is going to be on Michael Omelchuk, the 27-year-old out of Bellport, New York.
He's on the short stack at this final table.
Looks down to the 10-9, folds his hand. Now Kathy.
This is normally my favorite hand, especially against a guy like Nanad.
Sure it is.
Not 100,000 raise this time?
And now E.G. Harbin with a Jack-9 and the button.
Well, he's just going to limp in and call on the button.
Into the very tricky Mimi Tran. She's got ace-5 this time.
Wow, very conservative play not to play that hand in that position after a guy limps in on the button.
Good luck.
Nanad Medic with 4-5 of spades. Suited connector says, I'll see the flop. Oh, and look at this flop.
Well, Nanad's flopped the bottom 2 pair here and checks.
I'll check.
E.G.'s flopped nothing, and he checks right behind him.
Nanad trying to slow play here. An ace of spades on the turn. That 4 spades to Nanad. And he has 2 pair, of course. Just a tremendous hand.
Well, Vince, look what would have happened if Mimi would have played this pot. She'd had aces and 5s, while Nanad has 5s and 4s.
Well, Nanad is bet to 60,000 now. E.G. with absolutely nothing. Just a Jack-9.
I'm going to raise.
Ooh, wow.
Incredible, the amateur raising here with nothing. This guy is showing a lot of spunk early on at this final table. I know he's got the chip lead,
Another 150.
but you don't expect this kind of play from amateurs to raise a guy with absolutely nothing.
It's a $150,000 raise into Nanad, who is sandbagging his 2 pair, his 4 flush. And now he's got to be wondering to himself, wait a second, what happened here?
Well, Vince, when you're sitting there, you don't assume an amateur player is going to raise you with nothing. So you give him a hand here. You're afraid he's got some kind of straight here. Does he have 2 pair that would beat yours? No matter what his opponent has, he knows he's got outs to win this pot, as we say. Whether it be a spade, whether it be a full house card.
Well, he just calls it.
And that's in case he doesn't have the best hand here, which in fact he does. His opponent is drawing completely dead.
Going down to the river. This is getting interesting. A 7 of hearts.
Well, that puts a potential straight on the board. Nod's going to check. And without hesitation, Vince, this amateur player is going to bluff at this pot, it looks like, is nothing.
300.
He's pushing in the bologna sandwich right now.
He bets 300,000. Nod trying to figure this out. I don't think he's that afraid of a 7, even though it's a 4-card straight out there. You're just not going to assume your opponent's going to raise you on the turn if he's got a 6 in his hand.
The Nod Medic, the cash game player,
call.
trying to figure out the riddle, and he does so successfully.
And he's going to make the call. He's caught the amateur bluffing here, Vince.
Oh, man. I would have made a straight. I had 6-8.
Kathy saying she would have made a straight. Mimi would have made aces and 5s to win the pot. But as it is, the Nod Medic from Niagara Falls, Canada, made a nice read there, made the call, and took down the pot.
Well, he is very happy. Picks up a big one there.
But Vince, what about this amateur?
Nice hand.
What do you think about these moves this guy's making here with the 2 deuces and bluffing here with absolutely nothing?
Well, he tried to bluff at the wrong time there, but it's very impressive that this guy takes a shot like that, has so much gamble in him.
Well, Vince, we've been talking about the women and our chip leader, the amateur E.G. Harvin, but don't count out the Nod Medic, folks. This guy plays in high-stakes cash games on a regular basis and is one tough cookie at the poker table.
Well, we have an exciting one going on here at Foxwoods. 5 players remain. Stay tuned. We're coming right back with more on the World Poker Tour.
I am ranked in the top 50 of all-time tournament players in the world, not women. And if I win this today, I'm going to be in the top 20. I came to Foxwoods planning on winning this title. I've come 7th, I've come 6th, I've come 3rd. I really feel like it's my time to win.
Welcome back to Foxwoods in the $5.7 million World Poker Finals.
I'm Vince Van Patten alongside Mike Sexton. 5 players remain.
And our current chip leader is an amateur player from West Palm Beach, Florida, E.G. Harvin. He's got over $4.8 million in chips. In second place, Kathy Lieber. And in third place, Mimi Tran, who's got $2.5 million.
Mimi Tran looking down at 9 deuce.
She's going to lay it down.
Now the Nod Medic, 10-6 of clubs, throws it away. And now it's on Michael Omelchek. He's got
all in.
Motown Jackson 5.
It says all in here, Vince.
I am all out.
He's going all in with the 2 chip leaders in his blind
You must
positions.
really want that 50,000 bag.
Kathy out. And E.G., though, has A7 in the big blind.
Well, Vince, we've seen him play a lot of hands so far.
You can have mine.
Well, he shows him the ace and lays it down, and believe me, Michael was happy to see him go away because he knows that ace had him beat.
Well, Michael has been playing tighter than Mick Jagger's leotard, so once he makes that kind of all-in bet, very tough to call the hand.
All my family always asked me when I was going to put my degree to use. Maybe be a stockbroker or work at a hedge fund, something like that. Maybe after today, I don't have to do that. I don't know.
You know, he says that his favorite moments of this event were actually just talking to the professional players. How do you like that?
I think that highlight's already changed, Vince. By making it to this final table, talking to the players will become a distant second.
Michael Chuckles going away, and now it is on Chatty Kathy Liebert.
Well, she raised last time with a Jack-3 offsuit on the button. Here she's going to raise it with King-3 of clubs.
Very bold raise once again. E.G. out, and now it's on Mimi Tran, who's got a suited connector, though.
Well, that's the kind of hand you like to see flops with.
9-8 of diamonds.
She's got some money out there in the big blind. She's going to make the call. So the 2 women at this final table going at it here. Mimi with the 9-8 of diamonds. Kathy with the King-3 of clubs.
Look at this flop, 10-8 deuce.
Well, Mimi's flopped second pair and checks. You check to Kathy. She's going to bet most of the time. That's what's happened here. She's making what we call the continuation bet.
With nothing.
You bet it in hopes your opponent hasn't hit anything on the flop.
It's 110,000, but Mimi's going to call it.
You see the concerned look on Kathy's face right there. So a nice pot brewing between the 2 ladies.
Here comes the turn card.
Well, the 6 of spade comes off. Neither player probably liking that card because it's a potential flush and potential straight on the board.
Goes check, check, and a 7 on the river, which gives Mimi a straight, but she's going to check once again.
Well, she's going to check it in hopes that Kathy's going to bluff at it if she has nothing, Vince.
And look at it. She's getting chips out, it looks like. Oh, the perfume is definitely wearing off here. Look at this. She's going to bet.
She's going to represent that she's made a hand on the river here.
Gotta respect her boldness, but she's going to be called down by Mimi.
Well, bets $325,000, and Mimi quickly calls her with the straight and is going to take this pot down. So the first round of this cat fight going to Mimi Tran.
Yes, it is. Very solid play by Mimi Tran. Very wisely checking on the river with her straight. I mean, nice sandbag there just to make Kathy make a mistake. She did. But, you know, you got to give Kathy credit. She can make those kind of moves. She bets whether she has it or not. She plays position poker, power poker. That's why she's one of the greats.
An historic night here in the World Poker Tour. 2 women at the final table. And Vince, not just 2 women. 2 of the greatest poker players in the world, man or woman, in Mimi Tran and Kathy Liebert.
We keep talking about the best woman player, that it makes the women more competitive against each other because they all want to be the best woman player.
2 women or 3 women or the whole table with women, it made no difference with me. Because I play with man and a woman, and I respect them the same way.
I am not competing against Mimi to be the best woman player. I am competing with the people at my table to try to be the best tournament player, period.
My goal is to try to play my best and go all the way. I feel very, very proud of myself that I put all the effort and I made it.
In terms of women, I have the best results. I've made the most WPT final tables, the most money won, but who cares? I am one of the most successful tournament players, period.
Between the title and the money, I like the title. I capture 1 title, they will remember who Mimi Tran is.
My name is Kathy Liebert, and I'm going to win this tournament.
So Mimi Tran picking up her first pot at this final table. She, of course, mentored by 2-time WPT champion Barry Greenstein.
Robin Hood of poker, of course, in the audience here tonight to root on his pupil, Mimi Tran.
Back to Kathy Liebert, who just bluffed off about $500,000 in chips to Mimi in that last pot.
With a suited connector, 5-4 of hearts.
Well, she's in what we call the cutoff position, 1 away from the button.
She's getting chips out.
And she is going to raise it, Vince. Comes in for
$127,000.
$127,000.
But now the man behind her with the button, E.G. Harvin, he's got a big hand, ace-jack of hearts.
He's also got the big stack.
$127,000.
And he's getting out chips, Vince.
Bacon cheeseburgers.
I don't quite understand that remark, but I'll go with it.
It's $127,000. You can get a lot of cheeseburgers for that.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to call that, and I'm going to make it another $400,000.
Oh, wait a second. That could be a string raise right there.
Now, he's an amateur player. He's intending to raise $400,000.
But it was in a
His problem is, he said, I'm going to call that, and then I'm going to bet another $400,000.
And whatever you say is obviously not a problem with me.
Well, Mike Ward's the tournament director here. He's going to be called to the table to make a decision here.
Ask somebody else. I haven't.
He said, I call 127, and then I'm going to make it another 400,000.
The I call is the binding word.
Okay.
It's going to be
not a
construed
problem.
as just a call. That was a string raise, so
Not a problem.
Well, Kathy's going to get to see a flop with this 5-4 hearts, maybe. That's one of the blinds raise it.
Probably save me $400,000.
and now Mimi out.
They give you guys any information?
I'm gonna fold this, and I'm gonna fold.
Nod out. So 2-way action here.
So Kathy's got to think she's got live cards, as we say, meaning when an opponent wants to raise it $400,000, you put them on big cards.
A free flop. She gets to look at it, and look at this. Wow. She's 4 flush, but it could be a disaster because
E.G. has a pair of jacks and a royal flush draw.
Kathy has checked.
Now, I'm going to bet $400,000.
Now he's going to bet the $400,000.
No mistakes this time.
Well, there's only a little over $300,000 in the pot. He's making a big bet here. Now, Kathy's problem is that she's got less than $2 million in chips, and the bet is $400,000 now. So even if she would make this call, if a heart doesn't come on the turn, what would you do on the turn when your opponent bets at the pot again?
She's thinking, am I feeling lucky?
And you gotta love the table talk of E.G. Harvin, the amateur player.
I'm thinking about what you have. I'm trying to figure out what you have.
She should know he tried to raise $400,000 pre-flop, so there's a good chance that this flop hit him.
You have a pair yet? I'm not supposed to. Never mind. Don't answer.
You can ask me anything you want if you think I'm, if I answer you, then that's another thing. I don't mind you ask me what I have.
Do you have anything yet?
Wow.
Second question.
If Kathy gets a little frisky here with her flush draw, this could spell doom for
You don't
her.
have a draw, do you?
Because there's no way EG's getting away from this hand, period.
A little coffee housing, table talking going on here. Kathy saying to herself, maybe I can pick up a tell here.
She is making the $400,000 call here.
Now look at this. He is clapping the call.
And he,
I think I have the ace.
it's not often your opponent claps when you make a $400,000 call.
Bizarre. You gotta love this.
He's pulling for her to make the flush now, Vince.
Here we go with the turn card.
Oh my golly, the heart has come off. Well, folks, this is going to spell doom for Kathy Liebert.
Well, Kathy has quickly checked it. She thinks she has the winner, of course.
Check for a heart, huh?
Checking for my heartbeat.
Little does she know he's got the best hand possible.
I check.
And they both check. They're both playing sneaky.
Oh, look at EG checking the nut flush here.
Going to the river.
Here's the best possible hand, and the 6 of spade comes off. Kathy's got to love that card because she thinks her flush is the best hand right now.
6 is good.
Could be.
Welcome to Kathy Liebert's train wreck here, ladies and gentlemen. Can she slow the caboose
Not allowed
down?
to tell the truth.
I might have ace queen.
She thinks she's playing with this man right now.
Well, Vince, if she saves any chips
Good luck
in this
to you.
pot, I'll be shocked.
Is that noise supposed to intimidate me? Clang, clang, clang.
How much is in the pot? Am I allowed to ask that? Like 800,000?
About $1 million. I think.
Million.
About $1 million.
She's the highest woman finisher in the history of the World Poker Tour, but if she didn't go out on this hand, Vince, I'll be really surprised.
I'm gonna bet $1 million.
Oh boy, it's a slow-mo train wreck.
Well, she's
$1 million. Well,
Well, EG's definitely going to raise it because he has the best hand you can have right now.
he's got the cinch, and look at him clapping to Kathy. This is just a spectacle in itself.
I'm all in.
I call.
Oh wow.
Well, Kathy makes a quick call thinking she has the best hand, but she doesn't, and she's going to be out in 5th place.
Well, Kathy goes to the rail. She's stunned.
Everybody still love her?
She got out-talked there at the table by an amateur player. This man table-talked her out of this event. She got sucked in, and she has to pay the price.
Vince, I'll tell you, you go back to the decision that tournament director Michael Ward made. If he was allowed to raise that
She's gonna dump her
$400,000, Kathy Liebert's going to throw that
She's
hand
gonna
away
chuck
and
that
would
hand
still be
quickly.
alive in this tournament.
Yeah, you're right.
Once she made the flush on the turn, no way she could get away from that hand.
She is our 5th place finisher. Stunned. She's going to take home $257,000, and we are down to 4. Welcome back to the wonder of it all, Foxwoods. And right now, Kathy Liebert has to be wondering what happened in that last hand as she has been eliminated in 5th place, and she's going up to talk to Sabina.
Thanks, guys. So I'm standing here with Kathy. Now, Kathy, everyone is rooting for you today. You had the crowd with you. This is your 4th final table that you've been at. I mean, is there anything you want to say, anything you want to add?
Well, I mean, I had a lot of fun here at Foxwoods. The people here were great. I made a lot of new friends. I'm really happy that I made the final table, and disappointed because I felt like I had a good chance to win. I was playing really well all the way up to the final table. A little disappointed with the way I played the last hand, just because
I'm all in.
I call. I'm moving when he moves in on me. I should at least stop to consider that maybe I'm beat, maybe be able to make a big laydown. But I had a ball, and I'll be back next year, and I hope to see you all. I hope to be back to the final table.
No doubt on that.
It is stunning. Kathy Liebert has to go away. She has been dismissed in 5th place. Past champions at Foxwoods have been Nick Schulman, Tuan Lee, Hoyt Corkins, and back in '92, the first one ever, my buddy Mike Sexton won this tournament.
I did, Vince. I'm not sure if we even had color film back in those days here. Might have been, maybe there's some footage in black and white somewhere.
But right now, Mimi Tran, action on here. She's got a pair of deuces, and she has raised this. Renard out, Michael out. Only one to beat is EG.
Good.
And now EG is going to fold his hand as well.
So far, the deuce is doing well at this final table. Everybody winning with him.
I'm here with Barry Greenstein and Joe Seabach. Now, you guys are here rooting for Mimi right now. What do you think her chances are today in this tournament?
I think that they're great. I mean, at this point, she certainly has a lot of experience, and she's definitely not going to get nervous. So, I think they're good.
Well, I'm certainly nervous. I'd rather be in there playing than watching. The guy with the lead has a pretty good lead, and Nadmetic is a strong player, probably a stronger player than Mimi even. He's good. So she's got her work cut out for her. I just hope she picks up a big hand against a hand that's not quite as good.
Well, Mimi now in second chip position. She's got $3 million in front of her. Kathy's out of her way. We are down to four-handed action. Now, Mike, rumor has it that back in '92, when you won this event, that you didn't play inside the casino. You actually played in the Foxwoods. You and the other 6 guys.
Actually, there was just one building here then, Vince. Look what's happened since then. Foxwoods has gone on to become the largest casino in the world, and I'm in the booth with you.
Back to this hand. It's on the nod. He looks down at a queen 6 of clubs.
He's going to raise it, Vince. Comes in for 100,000.
They're opening up their games. Michael out, EG out with a 9-8. Only one to beat is going to be Mimi.
Well, Vince, she's got one of those suited connector hands again, the 9-10 of hearts. I know she has tremendous respect for Nanad, as all poker players in the know do have. But she's going to make the call, wants to see a flop with this. She's starting this pot with a little over 3.1 million in chips. Nanad with a little over 1.7 million. Well, flop comes Jack 7-5. Mimi has flopped a gut shot, straight draw, and checks.
And Nanad checking.
Now, deuce of diamonds comes up. Well, Mimi's still got the gut shot, straight draw. Does she want to try to bet here and take it? No, she checks.
And is Nanad going to come out of the Foxwoods? Yes, he is. It looks like $175,000 with nothing. And Mimi quickly ejecting her hand.
Well, what a bet by Nanad right there.
And Nanad sensing weakness, stealing that pot.
Actually, Vince, I think he gave her a chance to take that pot down. Had Mimi bet on the turn, I believe she could have won that pot. I think most top players, after Nanad checked on the flop, would have represented something by betting on the turn there in hopes that he had ace high or something like that and would lay it down with a bet.
Well, Serb is taking that pot. By the way, Serb has in the audience his dad, Eli, his brother, Mirko, and his girlfriend, Milana, rooting him on here tonight at Foxwoods.
Who's going to take down this $1.7 million first prize? Will it be an amateur player? Will we see our first woman champion ever on the World Poker Tour tonight? Or will it be a top pro like Nadmetic?
All right, action is on the chip leader, insurance guy, E.G. Harvin. He's got ace-4 spades this time.
And he's just going to limp in here, not raising.
Mimi Tran with 8-3. She goes away.
Now Nadmetic only has a jack-deuce offsuit. And he's getting good pot odds, as we say, Vince, to make this call.
He's going to speculate, and Michael Omelchuk not going to raise with his 10-8, three-way action.
That's another reason the Nod can call on that spot. Chances are the short stack's not going to raise it in the big blind. Flop has come ace, ace, deuce.
Oh, man, look at E.G. He's flopped a set, 3 of a kind.
The Nod has flopped 2 deuces here. Oh, action's on the Nod. He's betting $75,000. Not going to put his opponents on an ace because they didn't raise pre-flop. Michael quickly folds his hand. And E.G. has flopped 3 aces and trying to figure out what to do.
E.G. looking over his man, going into a little acting mode.
Well, he's just going to call here. Will that turn the caution lights on for Nanad right there? He told us he thinks he's got a real good read on this amateur, E.G. Harvin. Let's see if that's the case here.
Trying to suck him in. A 6 on the turn. Nanad slows down. He checks.
Well, Vince, once a guy calls you after it comes ace, ace, deuce, you do put the brakes on most of the time. Yes, his opponent could have a flush draw on the flop, but...
Now look at the E.G. going for chips, and Nanad just goes, okie dokie, I'm gone. E.G. shows the ace.
Yeah, he showed the ace of spade. Nanad read it and didn't want to waste any more time with his hand. Well, I'd say that's reading your opponent pretty good right there. When you flop 2 pair and you just throw it away when the man reaches for chips, knowing it's no good.
E.G. in late position didn't raise with ace high in a 4-handed poker game. Usually that can be deception, but Nanad, seeing through that, he evacuates correctly.
So E.G. Harvin taking down that pot, remains our monster chip leader. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more exciting action from the World Poker Finals.
Foxwoods is definitely the mecca of New England poker. Not only do we have the World Poker Tour events here, but actually they get to come and play in a World Poker Tour poker room.
It's one of my favorite stops on the World Poker Tour. It's just a great casino.
People just love to play poker here in New England. They get the WPT experience here 365 days a year.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. We're at Foxwoods. And Vince, for the 4 players remaining, the wonder of it all has yet to happen. Who's going to take home this WPT title?
Well, what a story. E.G. Harvin from West Palm Beach, Florida. He's got close to $7 million. And the short stack is Michael Chuckles Olmelchuk.
Well, action's on Mimi Tran. Will she become the first woman to ever win on the World Poker Tour? Opts to lay her hand down.
The knot has folded, and Michael Olmelchuk is going all in with his king 9 of spades.
He's up against the chip leader. He's just saying, if you can beat this hand, good luck to you, my friend.
What do you have there about?
Well, E.G. right behind him. He's got a pair of 6s.
Well, Vince, he can well afford to make this call. Only going to cost him about $400,000 to do it. He's sitting on about $7 million in chips.
And he wants a chip count.
He's already busted the other 2 players at the table. Maybe he's trying to run the rack here.
Wants to make Chuckles his next victim, perhaps.
40, 50, 60, 70. Okay, that's good enough.
Well, as the cards lie, it's about a dead-even proposition as to who would win this pot if he makes the call.
I'm not going to ask you what you got because you probably wouldn't tell me, right?
Nah, never.
E.G. wants a little more table talk.
You never know why anybody asks that question. Nobody ever gets an answer.
Kathy did.
I'm going to call you.
Oh, boy, he's made the call.
He's got the pair. His opponent's got the 2 overcards.
And the flag is up. We got a horse race.
What a daring call with the 2 6s.
But Mike, come on, it's automatic. The man was down to $500,000. It's automatic.
Call him. That's right.
All right.
Let's go.
Good luck. Thank you.
Chuckles has his family in the audience. Mom, Joanne, Dad, Rick, Sister Nicole.
Well, they're all holding their breath right now. They know their man's got to win this pot to stay alive. And so far, E.G. Harvin's luck has been pretty good at this final table. He's taken out both players so far. Will he knock out the third right now? A king right in the door. Michael's loving that. He is well out front right now. His opponent must catch a 6 to take him out of here. It could come queen 10 where they would split the pot, of course. But E.G. must catch a 6 to win this pot.
Well, he's put the pain on people before here tonight. Will he do it again? Not there. It's an 8 of spades.
Well, this gives Michael a flush draw, meaning it takes one of E.G.'s 2 outs away.
6 of spades, he still wins.
The 6 of spades is no good for E.G. now. He must catch exactly the 6 of hearts on the river to eliminate Michael Olmelchuk from this tournament.
He needs the miracle card.
Well,
Can he pull it off?
He pulled it off on Mike Perrier when he caught the flush on the river. Can he catch the 6 of hearts? Nope, it's a 3 of diamonds. So Michael Olmelchuk puts the glasses back on, gets the handshake from E.G. Harvin. Says, congratulations, my man, you're still here.
Yep. 27-year-old Michael Olmelchuk from Bellport, New York, survives.
Now, E.G. did nothing wrong there, even though he lost that pot. But, Vince, that's the first chink in the armor he's taken here tonight. The first pot he's lost.
Well, you know, $500,000 here and there. What's the difference, Mike? I mean, a man has got to feed a worm to the birds every once in a while.
Well, he still has more chips than all the players at the table put together.
All right, action is going to be on, Mr. Moneybags. This time looking down at a queen jack of hearts.
Well, not a bad hand, but he opts to limp in with it rather than raise.
Behind a Mimi with a king 7 of hearts. She's going to fold it, though.
She's playing very conservative at this final table, Vince.
The nod with a queen 4 diamonds.
He's going to limp in and make the call out of the small blind. And Michael with jack 9 says, give us a flop. So we've got 3-way action here. Here comes that flop. Now comes jack 10-6.
Wow.
The nod checks. No, Michael checks the top pair.
Yeah, he is checking his pair of jacks. And E.G. with the better kicker with the jacks has bet. And look at this. The nod quickly folding. Michael going over the top says all in.
He doesn't even hesitate, Vince. He goes all in. Little does he know, he is out-kicked, as we say. His opponent's got the same pair with a bigger second card.
I got to call you.
Well, he's going to love this.
Well, Vince, he's got a chance to win all those chips back. He lost plus all Michael's chips besides that. Could he possibly eliminate the third player from this final table so far tonight? Right now, he's a big favorite to do so.
8 and 9.
Both players have 2 jacks. E.G. has the bigger kicker with the queen.
Chuckles just shaking his head.
Well, Vince, he needs a 9 to take the lead, or 2 runners to make a straight here to win this pot.
Here we go with a turn.
Now a 10 comes off. Michael shaking his head no, but actually that's a good card for him because he'll get a split pot if an ace, a king, a jack, or a 10 comes off.
He would love that right now.
So he's got 4 cards he can tie the pot with. He cannot win the pot outright.
Will this be the demise of Chuckles? Coming down to the river. Here we go.
And he needs an ace, a king, a jack, or a 10 to stay alive. It's a 5 of clubs.
Didn't get it.
Well, that's going to do it from the finance major from Bellport, New York. Michael Omochuk out in 4th place. But Vince, what a performance for a guy who's playing in his first ever $10,000 buy-in championship.
Well, he is our 4th place finisher, going to pick up $343,000. And the body count continues to grow here at Foxwoods.
All because of our chip leader, the amateur. He's eliminated Mike Perry, Kathy Liebert, and Michael Omochuk so far at this final table. He's got 2 more to go.
It's high stakes, high action poker here at Foxwoods. Don't go away.
Bacon cheeseburgers. Okay. They give you a pair of 6s?
Is 6 good?
Could be. I'm not going to ask you what you got because you probably wouldn't tell me, right?
No, never.
You know, I never know why anybody asks that question. Nobody ever gets an answer.
Well, the World Poker Finals continues from Foxwoods. 3 players remain going after millions.
Could be a historical night on the World Poker Tour. Mimi Tran has already tied Kathy Liebert for the highest finishing woman in the history of the tour by her 3rd place finish, if indeed she doesn't go on to win this thing. And Vince, we could see our first ever woman champion tonight, but right now it's been a one-man band. E.G. Harvin, the monstrous chip leader with over 7.2 million in chips. But he's going to have his hands full with these 2, Vince, because Mimi's a tough player and Nanad Medic, one of the truly great no-limit hold'em players in the world.
Let's go to the table. Nanad looks down at King-Queen offsuit.
He's going to raise it on the button, comes in for 100,000.
I raise.
E.G. Harbin with Ace-9.
And he says, I raise. He just puts a stack of greens out there, which is a $500,000.
Now Mimi getting out of the way, back on Nanad with his King-Queen.
And he quickly lays it down, Vince.
How about this aggressiveness?
Well, what a lay down by Nanad right there. A lot of players would have called that with the King-Queen.
Now, I'm so impressed. E.G. is changing gears. He's going to be the bully at the table. But doesn't he look a little like the banker on the old Monopoly board?
Hey, he does actually a little bit. He takes down that pot too, Vince, but I can tell you right now, I don't care how many chips he's got, he's going to have his hands full trying to beat these 2 top professional players in No Limit Hold'em. Believe me, folks, they may have less chips than him, but it's going to be about evenly balanced in terms of skill level from here out.
I should have showed you. Should have showed you the 1 card. Now you know what it is.
What's that? Oh, ace?
I said I should have showed you the ace.
Vince, let me say one thing about Nanad. I don't think he's made a bobble here at this final table. He's made the correct decision every time when it comes to laying a hand down and making moves at pots. So even though he's the short stack here, he feels good about his chances.
The action's going to be on Mimi Tran.
And Vince, I believe she's going to have to get a little more aggressive if she wants to take this title down. Playing very conservatively so far at this final table.
Well, there you go. You got your wish. He's going up to 95,000 with just Jack Deuce.
There you go, Mimi.
But right behind him, Nanad has got a pair of 3s here.
Well, he's just going to make the call with them.
E.G. out with Ace-5.
Especially when you have a small pair, you're just hoping to flop a set.
Pair of 3s up against Jack Deuce. Here we go.
Oh, the flop comes King 6-3. Nanada's flop 3 of a kind and checks.
Yeah, he is digging the hole, putting the branches and the twigs over it, waiting for the sucker to fall in. And it looks like it's Mimi.
Well, he's throwing her little rope, as we say, hoping she'll make the continuation bet, which she's doing. She bets 150,000. It looks like a bad bet, but in truth, she's making a good bet, because if her opponent doesn't have a king or flop to set, as has happened, chances are she's going to win the pot by betting here.
Look at Nanad, just taking his time.
Now, folks, if you want to watch how a professional plays, you just watch this guy right here.
Well,
he doesn't play too fast, doesn't play too slow, takes his time on every decision. What he's considering now, Vince, does he want to just call with the 3 3s and hope she continues to take the lead at this pot?
He's raised it. He's check raised.
But he's going to raise it 300,000, Vince. He's doing that because he hopes she has a king in this spot, and she'll go for it where he's got a chance to double up here.
Now, this was the one time that Mimi really has nothing.
She has nothing, Vince, but she hasn't thrown it away yet. Now she does so, and wisely so. Nanad, after flopping that set, was going with it for sure. He has as much poker savvy as any young guy in the game, I think, Vince.
Oh, no doubt about it. He's a great player. Always has a lot of chips in front of him in the side games. Very feared player at the table.
The only game he plays is No Limit Hold'em, and he's one of the best at it.
I played basketball in Canada, University of Waterloo. Played there for a couple of years until I found poker. Last time I made final table, I was still in university. I love the lifestyle, get to travel. It's a fun game as well. I've been told before from other players that I'm pretty intimidating at the table just because of my size, and they say I have a stare down like Phil Ivey. My style is that I mix it up quite a bit depending on what stage of the tournament I'm at, and depending on the players. I play the player mostly. I've gotten to know all of the players at the final table. Well, I feel real confident. I like my chances in this tournament.
I really like his style. I like his game.
It's always fun when you play with him. 6'5", former basketball player, Nenad Medic.
And with that, we're now playing with a $5,000 ante. Blinds are $25,000 and $50,000.
A deeper investment for all players. Actions on Mimi Tran. Looking down at a Jack-5 offsuit.
Well, she raised last time on the button with a Jack-3 offsuit. Here she's going to raise with a Jack-5 offsuit. Makes it $150,000 to go.
She likes her position. And right behind her is Nenad Medic. He's got another wired pair, a little pair of deuces.
I remember the last time she raised on the button, he had 2 threes. He just called it. He's going to do the same thing here with the 2 deuces. EG throwing his 9-4 away.
So two-way action.
Here comes the flop. Well, it's come King 6-3, the exact same flop that came a minute ago when Nenad flopped 3 trays. This time he's just got the 2 deuces.
Didn't help Mimi. Now we know Nenad just has his pair of deuces. What to do?
Well, he's going to lead out in bet here, Vince. $275,000. He's just going to hope Mimi doesn't have anything.
Now Mimi going back to look at her cards.
He's just going to try to win the pot right here. And he does so as Mimi lays her hand down. He was betting to get information out of that hand. He didn't want to check, have her bet, now be the guest as to whether she had anything or not. If you're going to check and call, you're far better off to lead out and bet yourself. That's exactly what Nenad did there, and he takes down the pot by doing so.
But you know what? It takes courage to pull the trigger in first position when nothing hits. And that separates the average players from the great players.
So Nenad Medic, the cool Canadian, creeping up the leaderboard.
Stay tuned. One of these players is going to take home $1.7 million. We're coming right back.
In No Limit Hold'em, if you're a beginner, I would just stick to easy hands to play. The real good hands, of course, are your big pairs, your ace-kings, your ace-queens. The hands that I don't like are your ace-regs. An ace with a smaller kicker that's not suited.
Negrano coming into the game. Got ace-8 in his hand.
You might run into kicker problems. You might actually have ace-king, ace-queen, ace-jack.
Jennifer Harmon picks up ace-jack.
Because if you flop an ace, I'm all in.
Next hand.
What are you going to do with it if somebody makes a big bet at you? Your more experienced players basically can play any hand, only because they have a better read of their opponents and the situation, and they can take advantage of that. And that comes from hours and hours logged in at the poker table.
For more great poker tips, log on to world.poker.tour.s05e08.
Welcome back to Foxwoods and the World Poker Finals. I'm Sabina, and here's a recap of what's happened so far.
From the opening bell at Foxwoods, the poker gods smiled on insurance executive E.G. Harvin as he ran down a pair of kings, bounced a young pro, and ended the title dreams of the most successful female player in WPT history. Now, as this battle for a WPT title comes down to 3, can either remaining pro stop this amateur's improbable run towards fame, or will his good fortune turn into a $1.7 million payday?
Welcome back to the World Poker Finals in Foxwoods. And right now we have an upset brewing. E.G. Harvin, an amateur player. He's got over $7 million. The little Tran that could, Mimi Tran, she's got about $2.5 million. And Nenad Medic has $2.6 million. 1.7 going to the winner. Nenad quickly folding his hand. E.G. with 5-4 of hearts.
And he limps in. And Mimi with the ace-3 does not raise it here, says give us a flop. And the flop comes ace-4-3. Mimi has flopped top and bottom pair. E.G. Harvin has flopped 2 4s and a straight draw.
What a flop there for Mimi Tran. And it's on E.G. first. He's
and
going
it
to check.
checks.
Yeah.
And Mimi checks top and bottom pair. I'm a little surprised about that too, Vince.
She's going to try to slow play, but this could backfire. Another heart on the board.
She's going to trap him good, Vince, because he now has a flush draw to go with his pair of 4s and straight draw.
Check.
But he's checked again. Well, right now she's coming out to bet, and it's a little petite bet of $150,000 and a quick call by E.G.
Well, Vince, he's got a flush draw as well as 2 4s in a straight draw now.
Oh, yeah.
And a 4 comes off. He's going to win this pot with 3 4s.
That is ridiculous right there.
And Mimi's 2 pair has shrunk up considerably here. She is now going to play aces and 4s with a 9 kicker. And now he is going to lead out and bet here, Vince, it looks like.
E.G. coming out to bet $300,000.
Well, she's quickly going to call, but it's not going to be good enough because her opponent has made 3 4s. She got outdrawn at the river here to lose this pot. Vince, I'm a little surprised she didn't raise pre-flop. I'm a little surprised she didn't bet on the flop. There's no way her opponent's going to give her credit for having an ace when she didn't raise it before the flop.
I would have had a full house that night.
Oh, really?
Well, E.G. Harvin continues to roll downhill at this final table.
He's got in the audience his wife Donna, his daughter Chris, his son Dean. E.G. Harvin just having a field day here tonight.
My real name is actually Ezra, my middle name Griffin. So with a name like that, you use your initials. I enjoy playing, but it's not stressful to me at all. I am completely 100% relaxed. I just came up here to see my family and to tell my wife if I could win an entry to the main event, then I would play.
E.G., he didn't expect to be at this final table. He is not afraid of losing. So he's actually tough because of the fact that he has no pressure.
And the reason that I have contentment and inner peace and can make good decisions is because I put God first in my life, my family second, my friends, my church, my faith, and poker is way down the line. I'm not in awe of anybody. I play my cards. It doesn't make a difference who's holding the other hand. There's only one that I'm in awe of, and he walked on the earth 2,000 years ago. I can get very emotional about it, so a lot of miracles have happened in my life.
Could Cinderella put on the glass slipper again tonight?
Well, that slipper has been passed around lately on the World Poker Tour. It is happening for everyone. Back to the table, it's going to be right back on E.G. Got to be happy with that result. He folds an 8-3, and now Mimi looking down at Queen 10 offsuit.
Well, she is going to raise it, Vance. She makes it $150,000 to go.
And the nod behind her has Ace 8.
He's in position on her, and he's going to make the call here, Vince.
The nod medic, always exciting to watch because he's involved with every hand. He's that talented. He can be involved in every hand. There comes the first 3. It's a 5-4 deuce.
Action is on Mimi. Will she make the continuation bet? Yes, she does. She bets $150,000.
That flop gives an inside straight draw for the nod.
Well, Vince, he also realizes it's not that big a bet. Over $300,000 in the pot. She bet $150,000. He almost wanted to go with that hand. You could see it. Just opted not to. So give Mimi Tran credit for leading out there on that flop and taking down that pot with the worst hand.
What a player. You know, she used to have a normal job, and then she got a back injury. She couldn't do her job, so she went to the easy money in poker, and she has not looked back ever since.
Well, as we said, her mentor is 2-time WPT champion Barry Greenstein. He's in the house rooting her on tonight. See if she can become the first woman ever to capture a WPT title.
Back to the action with the nod, with the button. He looks down at Queen 10 of spades, but he's just going to call it.
And E.G. Harvin quickly calling out of the small blind with a 9-3 offsuit.
And Mimi with a king deuce, content to see the flop.
So we've got a family pot here, 3-way action. Here comes the flop. What's come king 10-3. All 3 players have flopped a pair.
I check.
E.G. flop bottom pair, he checks.
Mimi with the top pair is going to check as well. And the nod with the 10 is going to check.
Wow, he's got middle pair, and he also checks.
And a big ace on the turn.
E.G. checking, Mimi checking. And the Nat again checking. Nobody likes seeing that ace out there.
Scare card. Here's the river.
Queen comes on the river. E.G. checks, Mimi checks. Now the Nod's finally made the best hand. He's got 2 pair.
Bet it like you got it.
And he's reaching for chips. He's going to bet $125,000.
Yes, he does. Now into E.G. with nothing.
I'm folding like I don't have it.
Tosses pair of 3s, and Mimi is saying, you know, the whole hand just kind of blew up in my face.
Well, she did play a little conservative there, Vince. Not betting the 2 kings on the flop. It cost her the pot. Now here's Mimi going over to 2-time WPT champion Barry Greenstein to get some advice.
If Nina had limps, 50, 50, 50 to you, raise 200.
That's what Barry's telling Mimi there is, if you want to take down this title, you have to get more aggressive. When they check you, you bet, take it to them, don't play conservative. See if she follows Barry's advice.
Let's go back down to the table. It's going to be on the little tran that could. Mimi, ace-7 of spades this time.
Well, Vance, she is getting more aggressive. She's going to raise it up on the button here. Makes it $150,000 to go.
I call.
Nanad folding his ace-5.
Good lay down by Nanad there. But EG is going to call here with the jack-3 of hearts.
Here comes the flop.
Now, flop comes king 7-3. EG is flop bottom pair and checks.
And now Mimi, of course, has hit the middle pair of sevens, and coming out with a bet of $225,000.
Wow. EG quickly calls her with bottom pair. Just thinks she might be trying to pull a move here. Now the 6 of hearts comes off.
I check.
Wow, that improves his hand. Now he's 4 flushing, but he has checked. Mimi checking behind.
Well, the 5 of diamonds comes off.
I bet.
EG is going to bet here. $400,000 with the bottom pair.
It didn't help his hand, but he's betting $400,000. He's saying, you know what? I know you don't have a 4 the way you played it. You may think I have it. Here's $400,000 in your face.
Well, he has put the pressure on Mimi Tran right here, Vance. She's only got second pair. There's a 4-card straight out there. He called a bet on the flop. It's going to be very hard to put him on a hand here.
Strong play here by EG.
Can she sort this puzzle out and make the correct decision to call with just 2 7s?
This would just be an incredible call if she can do it. Well, not easy, though.
She's put almost $400,000 in this pot already. Going to cost her $400,000 more to call. She's down to about $1.6 million in chips, so it's not easy to make this call. She lays it down, and I don't think you can fault her necessarily for that lay down, Vance. I think you have to credit E.G. Harvin for just making a bold bet on the river there to earn that pot.
Stealing?
Huh?
You're stealing?
Was I what?
You stealing?
No, I had a king.
Says he had a king. He's lying on national television.
You are allowed to lie, right?
He's a man of God, but there's a little sinner right there, wasn't there, or not?
E.G. Harvin winning, bluffing, stealing. It's all happening here at Foxwoods. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action in just a moment.
Mimi is smart, has really great poker sense.
I met Barry Greenstein, and he told me to great poker player can go over there and fight with any poker player, either man or woman.
She's actually had the chip lead in several WPT events, but she hasn't finished it off. If Mimi wins and is the first woman to win a World Poker Tour event, I think that will be monstrous.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. Well, this fight continues here tonight, and E.G. Harvin with about $8 million. Nanad with about $2.5 million. And Mimi Tran now down to about 1.7.
Yeah, Vince, if she's going to become the first woman to ever capture a WPT title, she's going to have to get on her horse and start moving.
Look at this.
If she loses this pot, she can blame it on Barry because she is playing aggressive here, raising it with a 9-3 offsuit.
Into Nanad Medic, who's got Queen Deuce of Hearts.
Well, Vince, it seems like he's picked her off perfectly every time so far on the button when she's raised it. But here he just has a miserable Queen Deuce.
Guy they call Serb, only 23 years old.
Well, Vince, I can tell you from experience, one of Nenad's greatest skills at the poker table is being able to read his opponents. He's an expert at it.
Raise it.
And look at this, Vince. He is re-raising with a Queen Deuce. An incredible play by Nanad Medic right here.
Looks like an additional $450,000. Now E.G. had Ace-Jack. He goes out. He had the best hand of all three.
The pot was raised and re-raised to him, so he mucked his Ace-Jack.
And he's going to get Mimi to go out as well. Nice pick-off there by Nanad.
Well, Vince, I believe he's got good reads on both of these players. He senses when she's weak, but she's just trying to raise on the button when she doesn't have a hand. He came right over the top over there with a Queen Deuce. That's what separates the best from the rest. Nanad Medic, terrific poker instincts.
So Mimi Tran stumbling badly right now.
Well, Vince, even though she's on the short stack, it's not time to panic yet. She still has about $1.6 million in chips. Remember, blinds are only $25,000 and $50,000.
And she's putting chips out there with just Jack 4. Going to make a raise, going up to $150,000. Nanad going out.
Well, she's consistent in raising on the button, even with these Garfunkel hands. She's done it time and time again, but hasn't fared so well at it so far.
I call.
Now, E.G. has Ace-10. He's made this call. So good action here again.
And here comes the flop. King Jack 5.
Finally, Mimi hitting something. She's got the pair of jacks.
I call. I check.
EG's got the gut shot
Nothing to
straight
call.
draw. Queen would give him an ace-high straight. He
EG
checks.
has checked, yeah. And here comes some chips by Mimi.
And she gets second pair, and she's going to bet, Vince, $225,000.
I call.
Now look at this quick call by EG. He is sticking around with just ace-high inside straight draw. Let's see the turn.
Six of clubs comes on the turn.
I check.
EG checks again. Now, if Mimi thinks he's got some type of straight draw, she's going to get a bet in with these two jacks. That's exactly what's happening here. Nearly $800,000 out there. Mimi's going to bet $400,000 here.
I'm all in.
E.G. Harvard has come over the top and gone all in with just the ace high.
What is going on here?
Well, that's the problem when you're trying to get value bets in here. When you think your hand's good, if your opponent comes over the top of you, something you wouldn't expect an amateur to do, all of a sudden your jacks shrivel up.
Let me tell you something. She doesn't have that much left. Is she pot committed? That is the question. No, she's going to dump it.
Well, she shows the two jacks, and E.G. shows her the bluff. She picks it up and is staring at it and saying, why, oh, why didn't I make that call?
Boy.
That is going to set her on fire right there. Getting shown the bluff, Vince. She is not going to be happy about that.
But what a move by EG to make that kind of all-in bet with absolutely nothing.
Well, you're right, Vince. You got to credit him for continuing to make moves at pots. I mean, this guy is doing it here. This is no fluke. He's got all these chips. He's earning them.
The Mimi Tran unhinged at the moment.
Makes 2 times in 2 days.
And she manages a smile.
Nice play.
She's saying, too good.
A nice gesture on her part.
Back on a nod medic. 9-5 goes out.
E.G. just calls with the ace-6 suited.
And right behind him, Mimi Tran with ace-9 says, all in, I've had enough of this.
She's not going to get outplayed this time, Vince. She says, if you can beat this hand, good luck to you.
Count it for us, please.
And EG wants a count.
E.G. sees the smoke coming out of the top of her head right now. But I'm not laying down the best hand anymore after the flop. I'm putting it all in right now.
Ace-9 up against EG's ace-6 of clubs.
It's about $700,000 or so. That's less than 10% of his chip stack here, Vince. I'll be very surprised if he lay this hand down. He can afford to make this call and still have over $8 million, even if he loses the pot. Why not go ahead and take a shot to try to knock her out here with an ace-6 suited?
Mimi would be in a great place, dominating his hand.
$740,000.
E.G. Harvin thinking about it.
The only thing I'm worried about is a suck out.
Well, if you're worried about a suck out, you're supposed to call.
And that does happen in this game.
She'll be the one worried about the suck out if he makes the call.
There you go. You can have
makes a good lay down there.
Wow, what a lay down he makes.
She wanted that action.
And Vince, she's got to be a little dizzy right now. She knows the Nad's read her very well so far at this final table tonight. And now here's the amateur. He's also making the right moves against her.
Nice hand, Mimi.
Nicer hand, you blocked me.
If I can't get them all back to you on one hand.
Nice little reprieve for the great Mimi Tran.
You just have to feel that Mimi feels the pressure of the chance of becoming the first woman to ever win on the World Poker Tour. That's historical. It can mean a lot in terms of prestige and even endorsement deals down the line.
Let's go back down to the table. Nanad quickly folding a 9-5. And now E.G. Harvin has ace-king big slick. He's just called it.
He's not worried about the money. He's just playing to win this thing.
Well, he has played this sneaky. He's just called it. And Mimi...
she's going to raise it. And I don't blame her here. When your opponent limps in, you have to think the ace-high is the best hand.
Well, she makes it 150 to go. And yes, he has come over the top, going all in.
Mimi raised with the ace-high, as I think she should do in that situation. And let's see if she can make the right decision and abandon ship here. Her opponent limped in. Now he's come over the top and is setting you all in after you raise it. And remember, all her chips are on the line here.
Well, she might think her ace-high is best.
Against E.G., anything could be good here. Well, she makes the laydown, and what a good laydown it is.
Trying to make nice now with Mimi. He's showing the hand.
All it's going to do is make Mimi feel better about laying the ace-4 down here. I'd want to keep her on tilt if I was him.
The punishing blows continue here at Foxwoods. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more.
Welcome back to Foxwoods in the biggest game in town, the World Poker Finals.
We are down to 3 players right now. The amateur insurance man, E.G. Harvin, has over $8.5 million. And Mimi Tran just getting dismantled here tonight. And I'll tell you something, you go back to Barry Greenstein, he gave great advice. He said, hey, get aggressive. These guys, they're kind of playing passive. Good advice usually in a three-handed poker game, but it's just not happening the way they wanted it to.
Most of the time these guys are out-carding her. They've outplayed her some as well, but she is not making many hands at this final table. See if I can turn around.
Right back on her. She has 7-5.
You think sometimes she'd lay a hand down on the button, but she's going to raise it yet again.
Courageous bet right there. Nanad going out. And now E.G. Harvin says all in with just King-Jack.
Very good.
Oh, he's lowering his standards to move all in because their stack is getting shorter and shorter. He's not going to be afraid to gamble with her with a King-Jack.
Well, she is getting blown away like a bad toupee.
And right now, Vince, you can tell she is not a happy camper at this table. And you got to be saying to yourself, geez, can these guys read me? Do I have a tell? How do they know I don't have that kind of strong hand? Mimi just continuing to raise on the button, and it is not working for her. Eventually, you can look at the look on her face and see how frustrated she's getting here.
She has the button once again this time. And she's got a big hand, ace-queen.
She's going to make it 150,000 to go again, and her opponents quickly go out this time.
Man.
Well, Vince, she's got to be talking to herself right now. Every time she's had nothing and made it 150,000 to go, they come over the top of her. Now she finally picks up a hand, and they all fly away.
You say, you know, can you humor me just a little bit? Give me a little time. Make me feel like I might make some money with a quality hand. But no, they fly out of that.
Vince, she's got to feel like a rat in a treadmill right now. She's just going round and round and getting nowhere.
She's down to under $800,000. Back on E.G. Harvin. He's got ace-8 this time.
And just limps in on the button. He continues to limp in to allow his opponents to see flops.
Mimi finally going out of hand with queen-6. And now around to Nanad, who's got the Doyle Brunson in hand, 10 deuces spades.
He says, give us a flop. Oh, hello, Doyle. It's come 10-10 deuce. Nanad has flopped a full house and leads out and bets 100,000.
Yeah, I'll make it 300.
Oh, wow. E.G. makes it $300,000 with just ace high.
Well, without hesitation, he bets 300,000.
Doesn't believe here, Nanad.
I don't blame you, Vince. In case Nanad had a deuce with a bad card in his hand or nothing, he's going to win the pot right here.
Well, that's what he did early on. E.G. thinks he probably has the same type of hand.
In the meantime, Nanad trying to figure out what to do. He's got the best hand you can possibly have right now. 10's full of deuces. His opponent's raised him 200,000.
How to extricate the most amount of money from your victim.
Do you just call here, or do you go ahead and re-raise him back?
E.G. yawns, trying to look casual and strong.
Doesn't matter if he falls asleep. It's not going to help.
I'll raise it.
Nanad is not just going to call here. He's hoping his opponent's got something to draw to. Let's see how much he's going to raise it. That's going to be 800,000 more, it looks like.
I'm all in.
I call.
Unbelievable. E.G. Harvin has gone all in here with just the ace high. Vince, I don't know what he was thinking there. He's actually mucking his hand here.
Turn it over.
And that quickly calls him with the best hand possible, but it's not over for him. It could come ace-ace, and he could win this pot, but that's what it's going to take for him to do it.
Well,
what a major blunder here by the chip leader.
He's played great all night, but he's finally digressing back to his amateur status with that not only calling it, but re-raising all in.
Well, Vince, he's made a mistake on every round of betting so far in this hand. He didn't raise pre-flop with an ace high on the button. He allowed his opponent to flop a full house, and now he just continued to raise him all in here.
Looks like I need it. Ace-ace.
You know, this is like fouling a guy with 1 second left in the game who's taking a 3-point shot, and your team's ahead by 4. You just don't do it.
Nice hand, buddy.
Well, he finally threw the brick there tonight. First one to the delight of Nanad's girlfriend, Milana. There's the turn. It's not an ace, so it is over on this pot. That is a tremendous double up by Nanad Medic. Now he is close to being our chip leader.
With that many chips, I think he's going to be very tough to beat in this competition. He is not going to give his chips away like E.G. just did there. It's not going to happen.
Very nice play.
Just a big mistake by the amateur player. It's one thing to be aggressive. It's another to be foolish.
You're taking a big stab, and that time he's going to pay dearly.
Okay, now we got some action.
What a turn of events we got going here at Foxwoods. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more in just a moment.
My first final table finished 6th.
The 7 comes off.
Nanad Medic out in 6th place.
I think it's my time right now. I think I'm going to take this, and I'm really confident that I'm going to walk away with the 1.7.
We are back at Foxwoods for the World Poker Finals. Electrifying play here tonight. And E.G. Harvin, our amateur player from Palm Beach, Florida, is still out in front with $5.8 million.
Nice hand, buddy.
Nanad Medic with about 5.6.
I'm happy for you.
And Mimi has about 755.
And Nanad Medic in great shape here now. And Vince, I believe it's going to be very difficult for them to get his chips. He just doesn't make many mistakes at the table. I don't see him giving them away. I think he's now the man to beat, even though E.G. still has the chip lead.
Back on Mimi Tran. She's got Queen 9 this time with the button.
She's been consistent about raising on the button, and she does it again here. Comes in for $150,000.
Nanad's going to throw away his 5-4 of hearts, and E.G. not going to play his 7-5. So just like that, a little pressure by Mimi Tran, and she takes that pot.
And there's a perfect example of seeing that Nanad's not giving any chips away when he doesn't call a re-raise out of the blind with a 5-4 suited there.
I shouldn't have let you see a flop.
So true. A little suited connector, seductive hand, but he chooses just to count his chips there.
So Mimi Tran picking up that pot. She now has over 800,000 in chips, and all it takes is just a little rush, a little mini rush, and she can still capture this title.
Blind still at a pretty gentle 25 and 50,000. Action on the non-medic. He's going to lay down his King 7. E.G. with Ace 9 doesn't raise with it, just calling.
Well, I'm surprised he doesn't raise here in this situation. You give the big blind a chance to see a free flop to beat you.
And now Mimi with Queen Jack, not going to raise, content to see the flop.
Well, good one for Mimi. She's got top pairs. Come Queen 6 deuce. E.G. is checked.
And Mimi not hesitating, going to bet $100,000, but a quick call by the man with Ace High.
Wow. He's going to need an ace to take the lead. And there it is, Vince. Can you believe it?
He gets it.
And he checks.
I'm all in.
Mimi has bet $200,000, and E.G. going over the top all in.
And she quickly calls him, Vince.
Oh, boy. She's been trapped here. And she's just saying, I don't believe this.
I think it's just a combination of frustration, everything else that's happened. She's saying, could this guy really have caught an ace on the turn to take the lead? Yes.
Well, she is tilted like a three-legged bar stool at this point, putting all her chips in, and now she needs extreme luck. Otherwise, it is goodbye for Mimi Tran.
Maybe she thought the guy was making another move at the pot. She saw him just make one the previous hand against Nanad. Thought he might be stealing the pot. Must catch a queen or a jack if a lady's going to capture her first World Poker Tour title tonight.
Good luck to you, Mimi.
He has been her worst nightmare all night long.
Can the lady hit a lucky lady or a jack?
We're going down to the river with Mimi Tran.
Oh, it's a king. And that's going to do it for Mimi Tran, who's going to go out in 3rd place. And Vince, E.G. was her nemesis at this final table. He's the guy that took her down notch after notch. So she sets a bit of history on the World Poker Tour tonight as she ties Kathy Liebert for being the highest finisher for a woman in the history of the World Poker Tour. But we're going to have to wait for another day before we have a woman champion on the World Poker Tour.
Well, she goes over to Barry Greenstein, getting hugs from friends and family. No doubt they will drink and cry together and have poker discussions that run very deep.
Meantime, we are down to heads-up play. And Vince, what about this amateur?
He's very tricky. He's bold. He is E.G. Harvin, my new idol. Will he take the title and the 1.7 that goes with it? And we are down to 2 players at Foxwoods.
Well, here we go. As a custom on the World Poker Tour, we get down to heads-up play. We have a money presentation, and here at Foxwoods, they know how to do it right. And tonight, that's brought to you by Red Bear Productions. This is music and dance from the heart. These guys symbolize 2 warriors preparing for battle.
And here comes the wampum. $1.7 million for the winner, and $900,000 for second.
Well, these 2 warriors are about to do battle on the green felt. The Nad Medic, the Cash Game Pro, against our Cinderella story, the insurance man, E.G. Harvin.
Mike, what's amazing is that E.G. has knocked out all the players at the table so far tonight.
Thank you. Nice job.
Well, Vince, to take this title in that $1.7 million, he's got to knock them all out. He's got to run the rack. He's got to get rid of this top-notch pro, Nanad Medic. Let's see if he can do it.
I'm here with Jean Robert. Now, he is one of our bad boys of poker. We're heads up right now, so who do you think is going to take it today? Who do you think's the crowd favorite?
Well, Sabine, I got to tell you, I really like Serb to win this tournament. His name's Nanad. All the cash game players know him as Serb. He's not that well known on the tournament circuit yet, but he is an incredible player. I think he's a favorite, big time.
Well, there you have it. Bobby Balan is predicting Nanad is going to take the title, even though E.G. has more chips.
Well, Vince, all pros pick pros to win tournaments.
Going after $1.7 million. What a matchup. The gentle giant from Serbia up against the mild-mannered insurance man from Palm Beach. Blinds are up to $40,000 and $80,000.
Hard to pick these things
The
up.
ante's $10,000. Action on E.G. with the button. He's picked up ace-5.
Cost me another 40, I call.
He continues to go against the book, as we say. Everybody tells you to raise on the button, raise with ace high. He continues to limp in pots.
Yes, he does. Nanad also not going to raise with jack 7. Here's the flop. It's a 10-6-3.
Well,
doesn't help either player.
It's all checked. Nanad is checked.
I check.
And E.G. checks right behind him. Here comes the turn card. The deuce of spade comes off.
I check.
Hold on, I didn't.
Mistake by
I
E.G.
didn't check.
Oh.
Checking at a turn.
Push it all in.
Nanad says, I didn't check yet, and he's going to go ahead and try to bet the jack high.
Got to call that.
He bets $150,000.
Yes, he does, and
That's
he
a
gets
bargain.
a call. Says it's a bargain.
Well, he has the gut shot straight draw. 4 would give him a straight, but he doesn't have a club in his hand.
Actually out in front with the ace high.
9 of spade comes off.
I got an ace.
Well, Nanad has just given this pot up.
And look at the confidence E.G. says, I've got an ace like I know it's the winner. Give me the money.
E.G. called him down with an ace high, and it was good, man.
And no club.
What a call by him. I'll tell you, that may have Nanad talking to himself a little bit, Vince.
He's saying you're not supposed to do that. You don't have a club. You just have an ace.
3 clubs out there.
Wait a
Potential
second.
straight. Guy called him with ace high and took it down.
And did it with confidence, too. I call.
So round 1 of this heads-up battle going to the amateur. And Vince, I can't remember him raising one hand pre-flop tonight. He's going against what all the pros say, against what all the books say, to raise in position, to take advantage of your chip count. He just continues to limp in. So far, it's working for him.
He's got a pair of 7s this time, but once again, he's just going to limp in.
Well, he is the limp master, no doubt about that.
Behind him, Nanad has got king 5. He's not going to get fancy. They're going to see 3 cards.
Well, flop comes queen, jack 8 with 2 hearts. No help to either player. Nanad smiles and checks.
They both check.
Now 5 comes off, giving Nanad 2 5s, and again it goes check, check.
Yes, it does.
Comes the river card. A king comes off.
Oh, yeah.
Nanad has made 2 pair, kings and 5s. He's going to make a small wager, $150,000. And E.G. feels obligated to put some money in with his 2 7s, so he makes this call, but he's going to lose this pot.
You need to see it?
So round 2 going to Nanad Medic, the 23-year-old professional player out of Niagara Falls, Canada.
I had you before the river.
Oh, really?
Does that count? Nothing?
And folks, remember that big body and that puppy-looking face, because I can tell you Nanad Medic is going to be around on the World Poker Tour for a long time to come. And this guy is a player with a capital P.
This is a good battle. Stay tuned. We're coming back with more action here on the World Poker Tour.
Welcome back to the World Poker Tour, where the winner tonight is going to take home $1.7 million. The story when we started tonight was, would a woman capture her first WPT title ever? We had 2 at this final table. They're both gone. It's come down to the amateur from Florida.
E.G. Harvin, he's out in front with about $6.4 million, up against Nanad Medic with about $5.7 million. Got Nanad with 5-4.
Well, he's limped in on the button, Vince.
I raise.
E.G. is going to raise pre-flop here with a pair of 3s.
Start doing that now, huh?
Well, I got to because you.
Well, maybe he learned a lesson from that last hand.
I'm gonna what is it's 80?
80.
I'll make it. I'm gonna raise.
Very casual-like style.
I'm just gonna raise 160.
He makes it 160,000 more. And that means there's now 340,000 in the pot. It's going to cost Nanad another 160 to make this call.
That's too much.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's what I have in my hands.
Well, Nanad is going to make the call. He wants to see a flop with the suited connectors.
Said that's what I had in my hands. I don't like my hands.
It won't get any worse, I assure you.
Well, what do you think of this table talk, Vince?
I'm confused.
He's saying, I don't like my hand and it won't get any worse. Well, the flop comes queen 9-5.
Nanad has outflopped him. He's picked up a pair of 5s.
I bet 150.
But E.G. is going to continue. He's going to bet this. $150,000.
Not a big bet into a $500,000 pot. Let's see if Nanad picks up on that, and he does indeed. He makes the call with the 2 5s, the bottom pair. So off to the turn we go. The 4 clubs comes off. Nanad Medic now has 2 pair.
But E.G. is first to act and getting restless there.
Let me see. 1, 2. We're just going to bet $250.
Oh, boy, $250,000.
Well, that also was not a big bet into an $800,000 pot.
Now you got a big hand. Do you go over the top with it right now?
Keeping it friendly, huh?
Do you just call?
Well, he's just going to make the call here, Vince.
Wait a minute.
Little surprise. Nanad did not raise in that situation.
That's right.
His opponent could have a Jack-10, could have a pair of queens with a kicker where he could get in trouble on the river.
Going to give him a card to outdraw him at this point. The ace of clubs on the river.
I check.
And E.G. finally slowing down.
Don't have one of them.
No?
How would he say that, Vince?
Now Nanad's saying to himself, wait a second, if this guy was sticking around for a flush or a straight, wouldn't he have to bet at that point? Did he slap in with 2 pair with the ace high?
Well, there's $1,300,000 in the pot. Does Nanad want to get a value bet in here? That's the question.
Definitely think so.
500.
And
he's going to
it
bet $500,000, a very nice value-sized bet.
I call.
And incredibly, E.G. calls him with 2 3s here.
I don't like that call.
Nice hand.
Well, E.G. must have put him on some type of straight draw, Vince. Meaning he had a Jack-10 or a King-Jack, something like that. That's the only way you can pay it off with a pair of 3s there.
And I'll tell you something. I thought E.G. was playing superbly all throughout this. That's his second blowout here tonight. He can't make that call of $500,000. I think he's getting a little too overly confident. It's starting to hurt him.
Well, Vince, for the first time tonight, we have a new chip leader at this final table. Nanad Medic has taken the chip lead. The amateur player E.G. Harvin gives up the lead for the first time. And as my old drill sergeant used to say, you can only slide so far on barbed wire. And you just sense that E.G. is sliding right now. He's starting to get caught.
Still good-natured, though. You got to give him credit for that.
Well, why not, Vince? He got into this tournament on a $150 satellite. The worst he's going to do is take home a little over $900,000.
All right, it's going to be on E.G. Harvin.
Yeah, he looks down at the ace-deuce of diamonds and just limps in and calls with the ace high on the button in a heads-up situation.
Going back to his old tactics, and now Nanad with 7-4 of hearts.
Well, he's happy to see a flop here with this kind of hand.
Let's take a look at the flop. It's an ace and a 7.
Well, Nanad has flopped bottom pair. E.G. has flopped top pair and the nut flush draw.
I check.
And it goes check, check. Yep. He's not betting that hand there.
E.G.'s going to try to play this one slow, and 8 of hearts on the turn. Nanad has checked this one, and now finally E.G. has to come out of the Fox Woods and make a bet. It's $150,000.
And without ado, Nanad gets away from the 2 7s. Easy as pie. Only lost his blind in that pot.
And what's interesting is that E.G. didn't raise before the flop, so you don't usually put a guy on an ace, but we have seen him slow play big hands with the button all night long, so maybe Nanad is on to that.
Mimi left one of her hairs on the table.
Well, Vince, right now, he's got his man down. He feels like he's the best player, doesn't want to jeopardize any chips. I think the Nanad Medic is in command of this heads-up battle right now. I think it's his tournament to win.
All right, let's look at Nanad's hand. To the WPT cam brought to you by Budweiser. It's a King 3, and he is going to call it.
Well, he's limping in. He wants to see as cheap of flops as possible.
E.G. with 8-5. He's not going up. Here's the flop.
King at 5 deuce.
E.G. has picked up a piece of a pair of 5s, but checks, and Nanad with the kings is going to check. He's going to try to trap. 3 of clubs on the turn. 2 pair now for Nanad.
Well, that's a dangerous card.
Bet 200.
And that there's a potential straight and potential flush on the board right now. E.G. makes what he thinks is a value bet here. Thinks the 5s are the best hand.
Oh, he's bet $200,000. Nanad has a 4 flush, 2 pair. What else do you want? And he's just going to call it, trying to trap his man a little bit.
Here comes that river card, the ace of diamonds. That puts a potential straight out there as well.
I check.
E.G. finally slowing down. He checks.
Well, Nanad has 2 pair, but will he be afraid of the flush of the straight? No, he's going for another value bet.
I call.
And he's called by E.G. with the 2 5s. Nanad going to take down yet another pot, and Vince, in 2 hands in a row. I believe EG's given away about $1 million that he shouldn't have by making those calls on the river. All he could beat was a stone bluff on both occasions.
Well, he has turned into a human ATM machine. You know, you want some money, just go to EG. He just pays you off. It's getting embarrassing.
Vance, he's just playing like he just doesn't want to be bluffed out by a professional right now on national television. Poker is a people game. You got to know your opponent. We haven't seen Nanad give a chip away by bluffing. He's going to wait until he's got a hand to make a move.
Action right back on EG, and he has picked up the 2 squirts. Just calling again.
And Nanad with the ace high says, okay, give us a flop, and look at this, an ace right in the door, but a queen comes off. So Nanad with the top pair.
I bet.
EG with 3 ladies. Nanad has checked his aces, and out comes EG with a bet of $200,000. This is the advantage of not raising before the flop with a pair of queens. How do you put him on a big hand right now? You can't.
I better be a little careful here. He gets crazy here. It could cost him a lot of chips. He's going to make the call for $200,000.
Didn't get out of line. Didn't retest him with a raise, so here comes the turn card.
Well, the 8 of clubs comes on the turn. Nanad checks.
I bet. $300,000.
And the bet is $300,000
$300,000
by EG.
Not that huge of a bet.
Can't have 2 pair every time, can you?
Well, he's hoping his opponent's got 2 pair so he doesn't slip off the hook. Can Nanad get away from the top pair? He's read him almost perfectly on every occasion so far. Well, he does make the call for $300,000. So off to the river card we go. Nanad Medic drawing dead. No card he can catch to win the pot.
This could be payback time. Ow!
Well, an ace comes off. That gives Nanad 3 aces here, and he's going to check them, Vince.
Of course, a full house there for EG.
I bet $600,000.
Oh, and he's going to bet $600,000.
Well, Vince, I can't imagine Nanad's going to get away from this hand now. If you call him on the turn and you make 3 aces on the river.
Oh, I think that's automatic.
Well, yes. He calls a $600,000, and EG's going to win this pot with queens full. And Vince, you got to say, Nanad played that hand very smartly to never raise or bet that hand. An amateur might have pushed all in there and actually doubled his opponent up. Not Nanad. He's a smart player. He said he's got a good read on EG.
Well, he did detect some strength there, apparently, so he is getting a good read on him. Nicely done by Nanad.
Well, Vince, with that pot, EG creeps back up to where they're just about tied in chips again.
The title up for grabs still in the heads-up battle. We're coming right back. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. The World Poker Finals continues from Foxwoods. E.G. Harvin, the insurance man, the amateur player, has $5.8 million. But now the new chip leader here, Mike, is Nanad, a medic. They call him Serb. He's got over 6.3.
Can the amateur from Florida be Cinderella at the ball and take this title? Remember, he got into this tournament on a $150 satellite. He's playing heads up for $1.7 million and a WPT title right now.
All right, Nanad has limped in with 7-5. E.G. Harvin with ace-jack. And he's going to play his usual style and not raise with the big cards. What else is new?
Here comes the flop. Oh, it's come 5-5-3. Nanad has flopped 3 5s. E.G. checks the flop with his ace high.
Jackpot hand here. Nanad with his 3 of a kind, he's going to bet $150,000, but E.G.'s getting out of line. He's going up $500,000.
Well, Vince, he doesn't raise pre-flop with an ace-jack, and all of a sudden, he's going to raise now with no diamonds in his hand to $650,000.
Well, this is what he does. He's been doing this all night, but he's been pretty successful with this kind of style, but this time, he's in a mess.
Well, Vince, right now, Nanad's just trying to figure out, do I want to re-raise him right here, or do I just want to call him and hope he continues to take the lead?
Oh, yeah, he has dug the hole. He's putting the twigs, the branches over it. And he is seeing E.G. jump up and down in it.
Now, it's a dangerous flop to just call here, in my view. There's a potential flush out there and a potential straight. If one of those cards come off, Nanad might lose a big pot.
But he's going to let him take a card. He is just calling. He's going to play it slow.
So off to the turn we go here. Nanad with the 3 5s. E.G. with just the ace high. Off comes a 9.
I bet $1 million.
Oh, wow.
E.G. Harvin is going to bet $1 million here. Well, he's shaking a little bit as he puts in this $1 million. And why not? He's got nothing but an ace high, drawing completely dead here. No card he can catch to win this pot.
And look at Nanad. Do you go crazy now and go over the top? Do you just call? Do you take a chance this guy could be flushing, outdraw you?
Well, Vince, he's seen his opponent continues to bet once he starts betting. Do you want the guy to continue to fire at you? Do you walk the dog here, as they say? Meaning let your opponent take the lead and continue to bet when he has nothing.
Well, the beauty of it is that Nanad has position on him. He gets to act last on the next card. Big advantage.
But it's a dangerous play to make, in my view, in case your opponent does have a straight draw or flush draw. Because of the WPT cam brought to you by Budweiser, we can see that he has nothing catch to win the pot. But if you're sitting in the Nanad seat, you don't know that. Yet Nanad just calls the million here, does not raise it.
That's his kind of style. He's been playing this way.
Well, he's going to give EG a chance to bluff at the river.
Here comes the river card.
EG drawing completely dead here. Now the board pairs nines.
I'm all in.
Oh, man.
EG is going all in with an ace high here.
He's jumping in the quicksand, trying to make a bluff here on a guy that has a big hand.
You need a count.
Vince, the only way Nanad can be beat now is if opponent has a 9 here. There's no way in my mind you can lay down 5s full here. The man's got a 9 in his hand. Good luck to him.
I would think so, too. I'll tell you.
I mean,
right
this
now,
is the tournament, the 1.7 million, the title, everything on the line on this decision here by Nanad.
Poker destiny time for the gentle giant from Serbia.
We have a saying in poker, you think long, you think wrong. I'm in shock Nanad has not already made this call.
EG up on his feet. He would love a lay down.
I would be shocked if he laid this hand down, but it looks like he's thinking about it, Vince.
I call.
He's made the call. He's going to win the tournament.
Took him a long time to do it, but he did make the right decision. It is over, folks. Nanad Medic is the World Poker Finals champion. Vance, you could say EG knocked out everybody at the table. He knocked out the other 4 players and then himself.
The 23-year-old, the gentle giant, 6'5" Serb, takes this title and takes the $1.7 million that goes with it. Great playing by the amateur, E.G. Harvin. A lot of respect goes out to him, but it's all about Nanad Medic, the millionaire, here on the World Poker Tour.
Talk to our champion from Niagara Falls, Canada, Nanad Medic. Well, Nanad, Vince and I have been telling everybody all night long what a great, top-notch, no-limit hold'em player you are. You play in the biggest cash games in the world all the time. We know you desperately want to capture your first World Poker Tour title. You've done it tonight. You got to be feeling great.
Oh, it feels amazing, but I got to give it up to EG. He did all the work for me. Knocked out everybody.
And now it's time to toast our champion with Budweiser, the official beer of the World Poker Tour. Here's to the champion of the World Poker Finals, Nanad Medic. For Vince Van Patten, Sabina Gadecki, and everyone at the World Poker Tour, I'm Mike Sexton saying thanks for watching. And until next time, may all your cards be live and your pots be monsters. I don't understand what this is for here.